Hey, welcome to our Sunday preview for this 21st Sunday in Ordinary Time. And we have a beautiful passage here, critical one from Matthew's Gospel in chapter 16. And it says, Jesus went into the region of Caesarea Philippi, and he asked his disciples, who do people say the Son of Man is? They replied, some say John the Baptist, others Elijah, others Jeremiah or one of the prophets. And he said to them, well, who do you say that I am? Simon Peter said in reply, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. Jesus said to him in reply, blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my heavenly Father. And so I say to you, you are Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of the netherworld shall not prevail against it. I will give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed also in heaven. And he ordered his disciples to tell no one that he was the Christ. The gospel of the Lord. Well, this is one of the crucial scenes in the gospel. It's a very dramatic setting, really. But this is where we Catholics believe that Jesus conferred the keys of the kingdom to Peter, in effect making him the leader of the church after Jesus departed from this world. And he gave him the authority of the papal office. Right? All those titles and names would come later on. But the essence of it is here. What Peter binds on earth shall be bound in heaven. What he looses on earth will be loosed in heaven. In other words, Peter has the full authority over the church. And the setting is very important because this was the first time that Jesus took the disciples up to a place, it's way up in the northern part of Israel. And Caesarea Philippi was a town up there that had a big shrine to the pagan god Pan, the god of fertility. And it was a place of, you might say, an evil place. And first, that it was a false god. And secondly, it was a god of fertility, so they had all sorts of sacred orgies going on. It was a place that no respectable rabbi would ever go to, and much less bring his disciples. And so I'm sure the apostles were wondering why Jesus was taking them up to this. It would be, in effect, taking them to a red light district in the city. But the place there in Caesarea Philippi is kind of a face of a cliff, a rock face of a cliff, and they had all sorts of shrines built into the face of the cliff. And then there was a great opening in the ground there where a stream flowed out, and they considered that the opening to the gate of hell. And so this is the backdrop where you can imagine Jesus standing there in front of this pagan shrine and saying, the gates of hell will not prevail against my church. In other words, this is the worst place on earth. This is the most evil thing the pagans could come up with. And I will give you the power as the leader of the church that Satan and his evil and all the false god can never prevail against the church that Jesus establishes. And that lesson wasn't lost on the apostles. They had that confidence from that day that the power of God was with them. And now for 2,000 years, power of Satan has not prevailed against the church. And that's why we revere Peter and his successors as the Holy Father. And we know that if we stick together with the church and with the Holy Father, Satan cannot prevail against us.